What's up, guys? Well, we're back at it again. We're back at Troy. I did some stuff. I didn't have the camera on when I did it because I fell way behind and I had to get moving. So basically, what I had to do is so I left off with the carburetor. Okay, we got the carburetor on it. We got it squared away. It was still surging a little bit. I did readjust the valves one more time after that. I'm not sure if that's on the video or not. I also replaced the spark plug, and I changed the base gasket behind the carburetor mounting block because that was sucking a little air, so I put a new one of those on. So now I got it to the point where it idles nice after I adjust the air fuel idle screw right down in here in the carburetor. I got that set good. It runs really good when it's warm, but when it's cold, it wants to race still. So I got to thinking, let's take care of these motor mounts, because if the motor's loose, the centrifugal force of that motor going back and forth is going to mess with that governor, because the governor, they're very, very meticulous. So I just pulled the motor out of this. I had it down on the lift, and I retapped the bolts. I retapped them to a 3/8, put them back in there, Loctited them. So now the engine's all bolted down. So now I'm gonna hook it all back up and fire it up again and see how we run now that I've done all that. So that's what we got going on right now. That's what I'm doing. I figured I better turn the camera on because you did miss some things, and that's not cool. But like I said, it's a full-time job enough just trying to get this thing squared away and not have to worry about a camera. And you know, I'm still learning the camera thing. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to set this camera up somewhere, and you guys can watch. I'm going to mount you right up there so you can look down at me and figure out what I'm doing and watch me screw up and do good or whatever I may do. Yeah, this thing was pretty dirty. I went and it's too cold to take it outside and wash it yet. Still, I mean, we had a decent day yesterday. The temperature was okay, but it was raining, and so the top deck and underneath the motor I just did by hand. I cleaned up by hand with a rag and got it all cleaned up. But when it does get warm enough, I want to take it outside. I'm going to power wash underneath it, on top of it. I'm going to get it all cleaned up. But I'm not going to wait to put the motor back together just because I can't wash it. So I've been cleaning everything by hand, just wiping it down as I go. So this is our belt guide. This is going to want to go down underneath the pulley. This is going to hold the belt on. These belt guides, they're just wire metal rods bent to you to keep the belt from falling off the pulley, but they're very important because when you do lose one, your belt keeps falling off. Seems like the world's ending, but it's just as simple as that. Getting that belt holder back on there. So it's very important. We want to make sure we put that on there, you know. And when I did have this off, I checked the crank seal on the bottom of the engine, so I was going to replace that. It's not leaking. The crank seal is in good shape, so there was no reason for me to replace that. I could have, to replace it, I could have popped off. I could have just popped it off, put a new one on, but to do it right, I'd like the case to be split. I'd like to pull it all apart and do it. That's the way I'd like to do it, just for peace of mind. So I figured that was a lot of work that we didn't want to accomplish. We didn't want to tackle for no reason. I also remembered, I believe I was told that when they went to load this on the trailer, the rear wheels were locked up. So therefore, once I get the engine where I want it, I might have to dig into the rear end and see what's going on back there. Hopefully it's nothing major. Alright, I think I'm going to do a cold start and see what happens here. I think we're ready. Yeah, let's see how she goes. I got everything. I got fuel. I hit my head. It'd be nice if she just fired up and didn't surge on me, but I think it's going to surge. I just have a feeling. Well, guess what, guys? First of all, drop my impact. Second of all, it made a difference doing the motor mounts, for sure. And now I'm going backwards again. So, I guess now's the time where I scratch my head and think about it. I did have it good. I had it idling really good, and it would run full throttle decent too, but it raced just a little bit, and I figured, oh, let's fix the motor mounts, and then we'll be squared away. But now that I did that, now we're going in reverse. So it's all part of the game, guys. So let's get back to the drawing board and see if we can figure this out, huh? Okay, well, I'm not one for admitting defeat or being defeated. I've done everything I can to get this thing to stop surging. Now we're going to get serious. We're going to pull the cylinder head off and see if the head gasket is sucking air or if there's a bad spot, because everything I'm doing here doesn't make sense. It shouldn't still be hunting or surging. So we're going to go ahead and pull the head off. That's the problem with this stuff. I have to have an answer. Whether the customer can afford it or not, or if I quoted the job right. Now it's just my loss because I have to have an answer. I can't take this anymore. Something's not right. So now I have to figure out what that will be. Because I can't just leave it alone. I have to have answers. And therefore, I figure you guys would want to watch, because everybody likes to see defeat. I can tell you that the motor's solid. It doesn't knock, it doesn't tick. So the motor is still got life left in it. I just have to figure out what the problem is and get it running right. It's nice and hot right now because I just had it running again. And the problem is, I thought I had it fixed a couple times, but it keeps changing on me the way it runs. The minute I seem to think I figured it out, it changes up what it does. It's really weird. It's very inconsistent. And the weird part is, the more I work on this, the more I find things that don't make sense, like exhaust bolts. The exhaust bolts are in there, so what is this? Has someone been in here before? Now, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have been doing the simple stuff. I would have dug a little deeper right off the bat if I know someone's been in here before. And also a lot of you talk to a lot of small engine guys, they will definitely tell you that the Kohler Courage engine, whether it's 17, 18, 19, or 20 horse, is probably the worst engine the Kohler ever made. They have a weird timing system. They have weird camshaft gears. I think the gears are plastic, and those are known for exploding. And nothing's ever good about exploding camshaft gears. But I'm going to keep digging until I find out what the problem is. Because the worst part about not getting a repair done is not knowing for me. Yeah, this has definitely been a part. We got red RTV. Red RTV tells me someone's been in here before. That's why there's not a lot of small engine guys around anymore, because small engines will make you crazy if you let them. Oh yeah, these are way tight. The weird part is, it was running good, and then once it would run good, wouldn't idle. Once it gets hot, it will idle. But once it gets hot, it won't run on high RPM either. It kind of acts like the choke is on. Yet when it's idling, it wants choke or it's going to quit. So there's a lot of stuff going different directions. That just make me think there's something more. And this was in the back of my mind for a while, but I didn't figure, I figured, well, hey, my luck can't be that bad, so there's no sense in tearing the head off first thing. Well, guess what? Here I am tearing the head off first thing. I guess I should have tore it off first thing. Okay, so now we can just lay everything down to the side here. I should be able to zip out my bolts and my head. And it should come apart. This is not good because I'm not sure why. This head bolt has a washer on it, and I don't know why that is. I'm not going to undo the rocker arms. I'm going to leave those tight for now. Yeah, that's falling off way too easy. It should be a little more stuck than that. This bolt has a little oil on it, which means something might have been sneaking by it. Hopefully something is sneaking by it. Now, right off the bat, I really don't see anything obvious at first glance. The exhaust valve is very white, which means it might be lean. I do have a little cleanliness here. Come on down here and I'll show you. Now if we look right down in here, there is a little cleanliness around the edge of that valve. I know it's hard to see. You can see all the carbon, but in that corner there is some cleanliness. And if I can get the light just right, we can see where the oil has been protruding or escaping that gasket. All the brownness you see on this, that's where the gasket makes contact, and it looks like it might have been leaking there, which honestly guys, I want to see that. I want this thing to be leaking because I really want answers right now. Yeah, that's this has been leaking right here. We go to the gasket. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Well, like I said, I hope there's a little leaking right here. You can see the piston right here. The piston's clean. So we definitely got something going on there. There's definitely something going on with the gasket. And you can look behind the gasket and you can see where it's also clean. Now I want to try and pull this off, but I don't want to destroy it when I do it. Alright, here we go. Check this out, guys. Here's something to look at. This gasket's got perforations in it. It's got little holes in it. I don't know if you see it in the camera like that. If I take and I press on this, you can see it's kind of delaminated. And it's full of oil. And you can see some cracking in there, the gasket. If I press on it, there's oil squishing out of it. That's not normal. And this is also your push rod side over here. This is your push rod hole. So if we are leaking, if we're sucking air, I can push that oil out of there. And this is all the oil that I sprayed in. I sprayed penetrating oil in there earlier. When it was running, I took my thrust, or my Thunderbolt, and I sprayed it right along these fins while it was running, just to see if it would change the way it was running. I did notice a little bit of change, but now just seeing how that oil penetrated in here, that just shows me that that gasket is bad. Now, is that the reason for our surging? Not sure. But on the other hand, it's something that we just learned that also needs to be replaced. So it's not a bad thing. Let's just cross our fingers and hope that that's the surging issue. So I'm going to put my pig mat down here. I'm going to soak up all this oil. And I'm going to go ahead and tear this apart. And apparently I'm going to order a gasket. because I do not have one of these in stock. Hey, first of all, guys, sorry about the bright light in the window, but if it's bright out, I'm going to leave it open because it hasn't been bright very much lately. I did go ahead and order a gasket for this machine. I should have did this right off the bat, but the machine was sitting for a couple of years, so I was hoping it would just easy fix, clean the tank, adjust some things, clean the carburetor, replace the carburetor, and easy fix. But of course, that's not it. So I ordered a gasket, and we're going to throw it back together in the next video and see if that fixes it. If not, we'll move on to something else. So I guess it's good for video, but I just wanted to let you know that I do have the parts coming. The next video you see will be us putting the gasket on it and seeing if that fixes it. So once again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.